Okay, today's good person to know is Lily Cole. She's a fashion model and actress and a long-time campaigner for a variety of humanitarian and environmental causes. And now Lily is a social entrepreneur with Impossible.com, a social networking site based on a gifting economy. And by that I mean it's about helping people fulfill their wishes without ulterior motive other than wanting to help. In this video, Lily talks about what Impossible serves to do, how it works and why people should get involved. And it's a brilliant project and the site has so much to offer, so I hope you can see the value in it and perhaps you'd be kind enough to spread the word so that you can make someone's impossible wish possible. This video is relevant to anyone who quite simply has a heart of gold, so I hope you enjoy it and thank you for watching.
It's a social network similar to kind of in functionality to Twitter or Instagram, where it's got one specific call to action, and that's posting either offers or asks. So people can say, you know, I can teach X, Y, and Z, or I can give A, B, or C, and I would like help with, you know, whatever. And then you can see other people's posts, either by following other people, like other social networks, or by looking at location, which is kind of a point of difference for us, or by searching for skills and searching for different words. And we in the back office are also trying to match content. Our aspirations were and still are to be much more localised, and to our surprise it's taken off in quite a global way. So 73 countries, might be more now, actually that was a few months ago, had signed up within the last year, and the most active members are spread over 3 continents. A lot of people have used it as a space just to get advice and also to form kind of find emotional kind of release, because you find a really like kind of caring community where you're not being judged to just say I've had a shitty day and, you know, this is what's going on, and you'll have people kind of jump in and try and make you feel better. I mean, now we're actually moving into a phase of we have to become a lot more business minded to make it sustainable in the long term, but it's quite amazing that we've come this far really through that kind of gifting effort. For me, the value comes from the small stories you discover and you find, and you see that we're all about little acts of kindness. It's not about big grand gestures, and you see just somebody reaching out, needing help with something, somebody spontaneously offering to help them, and you see that happening again and again. Creating a parallel platform that will exist on Impossible that will be for gifting, but for buying products to gift. And we only want to sell products that we can tell the stories behind them. And I'm a big believer that business can be a force for good if it's kind of socially, environmentally responsible in its production chain itself. It's had a couple of stumbling moments when it's like, now it's okay, but there's been moments where I'm like, this is so hard, why am I doing this? But for the most part, I still feel so inspired by what is possible and what can be done. And then beyond that, it's really other people. So having a network of people around me that I've met through the last 3 years who've become incredibly supportive of the journey. And I don't know if any of you have tried to do your own business, but if you do, my kind of big advice would be just to really try and take as much help and support from the world around you by being open to cooperating and telling people your idea. Because as soon as I started doing that, it was quite amazing how many people came into my life and wanted to help in various different ways, and that's kind of, that makes it actually fairly enjoyable most of the time.
New business, how did you accumulate users and advertise your service as a new business?
Really, in truth, grassroots ways of growing communities I think are much more powerful, and that comes through a really kind of, just genuine effort of meeting people, talking to people, trying to engage local communities, and I think there's something quite beautiful about that actually, I think in truth being the most powerful mechanism, and that's available to anybody. So we've done events with Free Cycle, with Street Bank, with kind of different people operating in the space on the belief that we kind of need to cooperate between different platforms if we're trying to encourage kind of grassroots level cooperation.
And a little bit more about the giving nature. So is it tit for tat?
The way I see it is we're just trying to replicate online what happens in kind of friendship circles right now, happens in communities right now. So say there's 5 people who are friends, and Annie gives to Tom, and Tom gives to Billy, and Billy doesn't give to anyone. The groups see that. The groups see the dynamics. They see who's giving, they see who's receiving, and we all kind of, I think, do that as human beings, that we recognise generosity, and generosity begets generosity. So if someone's very generous to you over and over again, or you see them being generous in your community over and over again, it's most likely that you'll be generous to that person. all, the other people in that group will be generous to that person. What we're trying to do is map that behaviour into highly complex, confusing societies like our own, where I have no idea who's generous or not generous. And the way we try and reflect that is by just being transparent, and so reflecting in people's profiles what they've done. So if I was to see you on Impossible, I'd go to your profile and I'd very quickly get an understanding of your contribution as such to this community, and how much you're giving and how many times people have thanked you. And it just happens very naturally. So I use the platform a lot. I've used it a lot for the last year, and I will see on wishes and on conversation threads, I'll see when people are being generous. Like, there are people there who I've never met, but I feel a little bit of a relationship to, because I've seen them being kind to other people. At some point I might follow them because I think that person's kind of cool, and once I follow them, if they post a wish, I get a notification. And it doesn't mean I necessarily fulfill it, but it makes it A, visible to me, and B, I'm much more likely to either fulfill that or forward it to somebody I know who could fulfill that. You can share it on your Facebook page, you can share it on Twitter, you can share the wish on Instagram, and you can share it by email. So all of that's set up. And that's kind of why we designed it as a social network, because of that social, virality of how things can be shared across different networks.